I'm trying out a new way, a new format of recording my videos for Éclair leather goods now. We start with pasting 2 sheets of leather together so you can have a lined interior. And as I've always been doing, I never use any sort of fabrics or plastics or anything at all in any of my projects. There's always only 3 things, which is leather, thread, and metal when needed for buckles or D-rings or swivels, anything like that, for clasps basically. But apart from that, there is absolutely nothing that I use. So I'm going to go ahead with spreading my glue on this sheet of leather. We have to ensure that we cover the entire sheet. Also, what's important is that, which I learned the hard way, in any of your projects, it's always best to take the sheets that are a little bit larger than the project that you'll be making in the end. So because if you're also working just by hand with no machines, no molds, no nothing, there is room for error. And if you make a mistake, you have the opportunity to trim it down without spoiling your project. It may seem at times to be wastage of some of the nicer leather that you have or any sort of craft that you're into, but if your project goes wrong, then that's a bigger waste. Then you have to throw the entire thing and waste your time, a little demotivating. So that happened with me in the beginning. Now we're on to the next sheet, and this is more delicate. Spread it real quick. I generally use a piece of cardboard or anything just to ensure that it doesn't stick where it shouldn't in the beginning. So that's what this craft is about, and that's what I like sometimes. Like, even with the leather, sometimes you have these cuts and bruises that were naturally there on the skin of the animal, and it just gives it more character. And we're good. Perfect. So before we go ahead, we'll just mark so we don't make a mistake later. So the next step is to take thread, and the best thing to do is to have at least 4 times the amount of thread that you need for the entire stitch. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. But it's best to take a little extra, maybe this much. Not sure if you can see it, but maybe almost 4.5 to 5 times. I prefer to rub some beeswax on it before I cut it and then burn it. So this is the side of the bag, and for us to be able to fold it well and to have the curve at the bottom, we'll taper the side, but you'll see it again, you'll see it more clearly when it actually goes on the bag. So for now we're taking a small margin and we'll make that mark for the tip. Now midway across here and here is where we make a point. Then I just use this coin and ensure that it's in the center almost, and then draw a circle around it. Now this is what we'll have to chop off so it's able to fold, but you'll see the magic later. Side one is done. Now that both of these are pasted and we are good to go like this. Not sure if you can see it. No, you can. Yes. So we'll be sanding down the edges after, but before that we'll turn this over and make a stitch line here and on the other side. Now you have to be very careful here, so you can align both the sheets together and not have any rough edges. But of course, if there's ever a small edge which is crossing the other one, then you can just slice it out. But at this point in the project, it's just easier if you take some time and do it slowly. Now I'll pull the pocket to the side a little so I can easily mark the stitch line and then make the punch holes. Now, keeping up with using no machines at all, I just wet the leather and then apply pressure to stamp the Éclair logo, to emboss it on the leather. Now this slit is very important because it acts as a relief for the stud. Before working on the strap further, I'm oiling the leather to nourish it, to hydrate it, and now the bag's almost ready, and it's time to request my wife to model for the bag.